And good afternoon. Welcome to Tech20 Tuesday. It is a Tuesday afternoon, and as normal, we've got some more great professional learning for staff and others around the district in Anglophone West School District around technology. So today we want to look at video production. I want to tell you a little story first. A few years ago, I had the pleasure of hearing a speaker at a conference, a major conference, and this guy's a well-known technology evangelist. He's a professor at Kansas State University, and what he was saying was that they were looking at the very nature of information, and he was doing some research around that. And one of the things that he found was that, well, currently they looked at the Library of Congress, which is supposed to be the largest compendium, if you will, of information in the world. Has supposed to have all kinds of information, basically every known information known to man. So what he was looking at was that about right now about 95, a little over 95% of all the known recorded information in the world is in text and numbers format, traditional text and numbers. But they were kind of projecting that out in some futuristic ways by doing some algorithmic work. And what they found was that, what they were projecting was that by the year 2050, when most of the kids that we have in our classrooms right now are, especially in elementary schools, are in, will then be in midlife, so they'll be in mid-career working away. But that by that time, that number is going to be almost flipped, and that they expect that about 98% approaching 100% of all the consumable information that will be available to people will be in formats other than text and numbers. So formats like video, formats like virtual reality, and formats like we can't even begin to imagine. So we're seeing a big shift, and if you want to see, if you want to talk about that, it really comes down to, ask kids. And you can ask kids simply by pointing them in the direction of what they're doing online. And most of them are looking at things like YouTube. YouTube is huge. YouTube has more content added in YouTube than all other websites in the world and web-based content in the world. So there's lots of evidence to support the fact that we are quickly becoming a video-based culture, and that there's lots of stuff out there. So today, and I guess that means, what are we doing in our classrooms? So for me, we need to still be teaching about letters and numbers, traditional text-based formats for information. But we need to be doing so much more. And we need to be teaching kids how to effectively communicate using all types of digital media. Web-based media, images, they all should become great photographers, but also video. And so we wanted to talk today about iMovie, and specifically iMovie on the iPad. So we've got these huge machines, and I'm just trying to connect my iPad here. So just give me a very brief second. I'm going to disconnect Quit Reflector and bring my reflector back up. So reflector 2. And so when we look at the iPad, it is, to me, it's like this perfect platform for producing videos for young people. And so I've got my iPad up, and I want to go through and talk a little bit about what an iPad can do for you in your classroom. I'm going to go to full screen. So there we go. So now I've got my iPad up. So we've got this tremendous platform, and the neat thing about it is that when we used to do video production, we used to run around with a camera, and then we'd record all our video, and then we'd come back and get all the cables out and fuddle around with those and worry about whether they connected to our computer right, and whether we could download it properly, and whether the formats were all the right formats for everything that we needed to do. And it was just a pain in the butt. And so now we've got this huge all-in-one platform called an iPad. And you can do this on your iPhone, but I prefer my iPad just because of the size of the screen, where it's got the camera, it's got the audio recording, it's got the editor, and it's got the production facility all in one. So today I want to have a quick look at iMovie, and iMovie is available on your iPad. Most of the new iPads have iMovie on it for free, and so if you don't have iMovie on your iPad, put in the help desk case. It's all good. So today we want to have a look at iMovie. So I've opened up iMovie. Now I've gone out and shot a few little video pieces over the last few days, and so they're going to be in here. Most of them are going to be surrounding the weather and my cat. So today I'm going to start and produce a quick little video for you, just so you can have an idea about how iMovie works on the iPad, and then we'll talk a little bit about the kinds of things that students can do. So when I come in here, and you'll see that when I open up iMovie, it gives me 3 tabs along the top. It gives me video, which shows me all the video pieces that I've got available to me. It shows, when I go to projects, it shows me all the projects that I've got either completed or underway. And then I've got theater, which shows me all the projects that I've got completed or finalized. And I'll show you what those look like. But I'm just going to click the plus sign here in the top left-hand corner, because that means I want to start a new project. So I'm going to click on that. Now I've got 2 choices here. I've got movie or trailer. Now iPad, the iMovie in the iPad has a great little app, and it allows you to do some really fun things, and it create these little trailers, and they're kind of cool. And your kids can explore those. But today I really wanted to look at more about the movie production. And really the tools are pretty cross. Pretty much work the same on both platforms, on both ideas. So I'm going to click here on movie, and we're going to open up some video. So what you see here is all of the video pieces. Now I can use video or I can use photographs. So these are all of the latest content, whether video or photos, that I have available to me to import into my video. Now, into my final video. I'm going to sit with strictly video today, although I might sort of dab and throw a couple of things in there. So what I did is I clicked the video tab, so I just see the video pieces. Now, you'll notice here that it gives me a whole bunch of little frames. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start with, this is a story of my cat. My cat hates winter. So do I. We share that. So I'm going to, this is a little piece of video that I took the other night during the snowstorm from my front window. So I'm going to click on it. So we want to include it. So I've just clicked on it, highlighted it. When it highlighted, you notice here that I can either play it, or I've got a little check mark, and because I checked the check mark, it's going to include that in the video. And you'll notice now I'm going to come up here. This one here is a longer video piece. You'll notice here it says 52 seconds. I don't know if you can see that, but right down in the bottom left-hand corner of this, I've now clicked on the video selection. It outlines it in yellow. It's got yellow bars on both ends. And I'm going to click on the check mark to indicate that I also want to use that in my video. So now I've highlighted that. I'm going to take a couple of other pieces. I'll take this piece, which I took out my front yard, and I'm going to take this piece as well, which is just a short little 2-second piece. I'm going to throw them all in, and we can play with them later. And now, once I've selected the pieces, I can go back and get other pieces later, but this is just what I want to start with. So I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to hit Create Movie, which was down at the bottom of that page. It's now going to take all of those pieces, and it put them in the order that I wanted them to be in, and it put them down here along this timeline. So all I'm doing is just moving the pictures along the bottom, just using my finger. You can't see my finger, but I'm using my finger to just scroll that little piece of video along the bottom. And so now I've got 5, I think, pieces of video, some of them longer than others, some of them different, and they're all different. And so I can see what the raw video is. Just by now, if you look right in the middle of the screen, you'll see a little play button. And I hit play, and I don't know how much of this you're going to be able to see or hear. I've turned it up a little bit. But this is from the snowstorm the other night. Now, this is a piece that I shot yesterday afternoon after school with my cat, who is loving the fact that she can now get outside. So you see that and kids can have all kinds of great little stories to tell. But so now I can come in here. So basically I've got 5 pieces of video. I've now hit the pause button. So I've got 5 pieces of video that I can work with. So now what I can do, oh, by the way, I want to show you very quickly. If you look in the very top sort of center, you see a question mark. The neat thing about what I like about iMovie is that at any time I can get some help from iMovie simply by hitting the question mark in the top middle. And you notice here I've highlighted the question mark, and now there's a bunch of little yellow sort of stickies that show up that drive me to different places. So you can see here that over on the left-hand side, it takes me back to projects. That takes me done. So I can, if I'm done working for the day, I just hit back to projects. It's auto-save, by the way, so it will save for wherever you are at the particular time. Then, record audio, record video or photos. So if I want to add more videos or add more photos, I can do it from, or record more from there. Then up in the top, you see that it's got change the theme. Now, there's lots of different themes in here. So the themes are kind of cool that you can work with. So I'm going to click on the little theme button. And you'll notice in here that I can scroll across here. You see there's a news theme, there's a simple theme, there's a travel theme. There's all kinds of different themes. I'm going to use the bright theme just for lack of any kind of making me make a choice. It was the one in the middle. I can put in the theme music that goes along with bright, and you notice that down in the bottom you see there's a little green bar that came across, and that's the theme music that goes along, and it will start right at the first video. I'll show you how to change that in a little bit. I want to fade in from black, and I want to fade out to black at the end. So now what I've got is I've got a little bit of video, 5 little sections. I've got some theme music that goes along with it, and so now I can make that go away just by clicking the project sections. So now what I've done is I've got the video pieces, and you see how I can move it along with some audio that goes along with it. So let's listen or watch. So I don't know if you could hear that, but there's some music that's going along with it. So let's say that now I want to put in a little, so I want to put in a starter, a little bit of text to go at the start of this, a title. And so if I click on the piece of video, so I'm going to move it to the middle here so you can see it a little better. So I've got the piece of video, and I want to put in the middle of the winter, just to start the movie, sort of a setter. So if I click on it, now you see down below I've got a few little items here. So I've got actions, I've got speed, I've got volume, so I can turn up the volume, and then I've got titles. And I'm just going to be skipping here in just a few little things. So now I can put in titles, and it gives me some different options for different titles. So I'm going to put in this one. I like this one. It's called Focus. And then you notice that when I click on it down in the bottom, it gives me the option to come up here and click on the text. Now my cat's name is Wiki, and I'm going to put in the midst of winter. So now, and we're going to make that go away, so we're going to click on start. And come back to the first. And I can actually go in and make that go a little longer. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another title on this piece. And we're going to call it, I'm going to use a different one, the reveal one, just so you can see a different thing. I'm going to come in here, and we're going to put in Wiki finds winter. Or Wiki finds spring, I should say. And so now we're going to come back and we're going to start. And so you can see here how I can add all kinds of different text in here. and to make it sort of go along, and I can help tell the story. So a couple of things you can do very easily. You notice that in between, when I went from one piece of video to the other, it went very quickly. There was no transition. But in between these two pieces of video, you notice that there's a little icon right there. And I just clicked on it, and it's going to show up, and it's a yellow one now. It's highlighted. So I can now click on that. That's the transition. Down along the bottom, it gives me some options. So I'm going to click the one that says dissolve, because I kind of like that one. Or you can have a theme, or a no transition, or a wipe, or a fade. I like the dissolve. So I'm going to click on dissolve. If it's going to let me. Come on. Let me dissolve. There we go. Oh, now I've got dissolve. Okay. So now you see that the transition between those two pieces of video isn't as harsh and abrupt as it was. So the next piece I want to show you is that I want to be able to sort of edit a piece. So let's say I wanted to move from here, and then as I fade up and over and start to look at the rest of the yard and the cat starts to move, right now, let's say I want to take out the next little bit where the bird feeders come in. So if I click on it, you see that that piece of video highlights. It's in yellow now. And so if I simply take my finger and wherever that line is, wherever that little, wherever the video is set and there's the line, if I take my finger and swipe down, you notice that the video now gets cut. So let's say I wanted to move along until I start to see the table. So there's the table. Now I want to bring it back and show the piece of video again. So I click on it, hold it down, and now I've cut it again. Let's say I want to take this piece of video out. I simply click on it and press delete. Now that piece of video is out, and I can put in another transition, and we're going to put a wipe transition on this one, and you'll see that we've got a different transition. So there's all kinds of things you can do in here, and kids have a great time with this. You can put more videos in by simply selecting up along the top right hand corner. There's some moments, there's videos, and so if I click in the videos, you notice that I see all, so I can click on all videos, and there's all the videos that are available to me. I can come back and click photographs, so there's all my photographs that are available to me. I can come in there and put different photographs in wherever I want them to be. There's albums. I can have it connected to my iCloud drive and use content from there. So there's all kinds of fun stuff. So I know we're getting close to time here, and I want to show you the one last thing. And so you can see how this is also easy for kids. The last thing you need to do is, let's say I'm done now and I want to export this. So I'm ready and I'm happy with this. It's all saved. If I come back to my projects again, you'll see it's created iMovie 5. I come back here. I can change the title on that, and so I can have Wiki Fine Spring. That could be the title of my movie. If I wanted to edit it again, I simply hit Edit, the little Edit button below that. It's all good. But if I'm ready, if this is the one that I'm ready to now save, so I click on it and I come in here, and you notice at the bottom there's 3 little buttons. The first one allows you to play it. The last one allows you to trash it, put it in the trash can. The middle one allows you to export it. And if I click on this, the middle one, it's going to give me some options. Now I can share it with AirDrop. You notice my phone, because my phone is sitting here. I could share it to my phone. But the one that you're going to want to do is the second one on the bottom. It says Save Video. So when I click on Save Video, it simply comes up and it exports it. It transfers it to a Windows media file, or pardon me, a Mac media file, MP4, and it will export it to the photo stream on this as a video. I can choose medium, large, and most of the time for what we're going to do in classes, large is great. It saves a little bit of space rather than the high HD. So now it's going to export that video. Where am I going to find it? once it's exported, it's going to be in my photo stream. Now, then, if it's in my photo stream, if it's on one of our school iPads, we can sometimes transfer it, depending on how the iPad's configured, to our computers simply by plugging it in and dragging and dropping the videos and the photographs, or we can use AirDrop to transfer it to a Mac or a phone or other device from where we can then email it. But you can see here how it's easily transferred, and that's why I really like the iPad for student use. They allow the all-in-one sort of piece, allows them to make and create videos as they go along. And to me, it's just a really rigorous platform that's great for kids to learn. And I'm going to turn off AirPlay so you won't see my iPad anymore. But you can see here how it's a great platform for sharing. And I'm really excited when I work with kids. They love to play with the iPad. If you've got a few iPads in your school, I would really encourage you to get some tripods. There's also some mics. So if you're doing some student production, oh, by the way, you can add student voice to that as well on top of the music and on top of the video, so they can narrate it. So there's all kinds of easy ways to do it. But I would encourage you to get a little bit of a couple of little shotgun mics. So shotgun mics designed just exactly for this. And I would encourage you to also get a couple of tripods on wheels so you can wheel them around and make yourself a little recording studio. Next week, we're going to talk about two things. We're going to talk about green screen video production, which is really cool for kids. I'll show you a few ideas there. And we're also going to talk about a couple of apps that allow students to really do some neat things and produce some videos called Explain Everything. So and it's a pretty good app as well. So that's it for today, and that is it for Tech20 Tuesday. We're over time. It's 4:03. My name's Jeff Whipple, and so thank you for joining us in Tech20 Tuesday today. And if you have any questions, as I've always said, you can always join us here. And also the other thing that you can do is, oh, I'm just going to pull up this screen. Always feel free to join us and contact us. Any member of the ASD Technology Lead Team, Waylon Dixon up in Woodstock, Carmen, myself, Cam Desjardins, and myself here in Fredericton, and Janice and Wendy down in Oromocto. And you can always look at archive versions at tech20tuesday.wikispaces.com. That's it for today. I'm Jeff Whipple, and we will hopefully see you next week. Thanks all.